Alrighty, welcome to the After Hours of TC Rustani podcast. I'm here at the podcast penthouse with my longtime close personal friend, South Boston Jeff. What's going on, Jeff?
Oh, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
And joining us tonight, my longtime close personal friend, the one and the only, Quincy Briscoe is here. What's going on, Quince?
Oh, not too much. How are we doing tonight?
We're doing great. We're doing fantastic. You're in town. We haven't seen you in a while. And we just said, we want to sit down and chat because you are a unique individual out there. I've known you for 20 years now. You are a unique individual, my friend. You drive a motorcycle. Tell us about your 1978 Honda Hawk.
Well, like anything, you have to maintain it because with the right kind of help, I maintained that motorcycle. Any kind of vehicle, such as a 1978 Honda Hawk Automatic, it is maintained and it runs mint and looks mint conditioned. It's what I drive. Not super fast, no less, no more than what I need. It's just what I drive.
It's your mode of transportation.
That's correct. It's my mode of transportation, ladies and gentlemen.
And you've had that bike now for what? Almost 37, 38 years.
Just about, yeah.
And you haven't even passed 75,000 miles on your bike yet.
Oh, I
mean-
might have made that mileage me to go around maybe once or twice.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
I was going to say, for a bike
like-
that old.
like I said, any kind of vehicle, such as the 1978 Honda Hawk, it runs good. New and old vehicles from the older generation to today, you have to maintain them
You do have to maintain them. I mean, how often do you do oil changes on your Honda Hawk?
once a year, just
Once?
like a car or any motorcycle.
Well-
I change oil on that once a year.
Well, I change my oil in my car a few times a year, at least 4 times a year, Quince.
That's correct, because depending on how often you drive the vehicle,
Well, yeah. Well, I do drive my car a lot further than you do drive your Honda Hawk.
there's a good point there, ladies and gentlemen. For a good friend like you and I, you travel around to these conventions, then you have to do oil changes of the vehicles. Because if you don't change your oil, change your spark plugs, the vehicle's just not going to run as good.
No, it's not.
These newer vehicles, when they pick up on, have signs on them, the light up signs, change my oil, change whatever, check the tire pressure.
Right.
And if you don't pay attention to the warning signs on these vehicles, you're going to run into trouble.
Well, I'm going to quote a word that you like to say quite a bit: preventive maintenance.
Preventive maintenance. I love it. You just said two of my favorite words, ladies and gentlemen. Preventive maintenance. I love them, and I live by them. Cars, motorcycles, snow blowers, everything, which we'll be talking about later on.
Yeah, as the winter comes down, you'll have to talk about all these snow blowers that you like snow blowing the snow, don't you?
Well, I do it because I don't, with a grain of salt. When I was, Toro was one of my favorites, and
Yeah.
and I like Toros, and like I said, I maintained them, and I chose, investigated. I'll take a Toro
Right.
because and the thing about these Toros, I have 2 different models, 2-cycle and 4-cycle. Now 2-cycles, when you mix the gas and oil together, 4-cycle has separate oil compartments, and just like a motorcycle, you have to maintain them. Change your oil, put fresh gas in the snowblower. But right now it's lawnmower season.
Right.
Put fresh gas in the lawnmower, change the oil, change your spark plugs, and find out what kind of plug goes into the lawnmower or snowblower.
Right, right.
Which we'll talk about later on.
Right,
As
as
time goes
the
on.
winter comes down. Now, getting back to gasoline, how much gasoline does it actually take to fill the tank of the motorcycle, and how long does it last?
2.5 gallons my bike holds, and depending on how far a guy like me drives, I can drive from 2 or 3 towns and back, and it's not a gas guzzler. That's another thing. These older motorcycles, just like some of the newer bikes today, they're not gas guzzlers. But on the other hand, the bike is maintained, and if it's idles too high, idles too low, or if it's not getting the gas, you're gonna know it's not getting the gas. You go to a qualified mechanic if you have a question, and they're gonna say, hey, it could be a clogged gas filter, it could be a kinked fuel line, or a
Could be.
combination. It could be a number of things. You diagnose and repair. And then depending on what it is, could be minor, could be major. We don't know until we look at it. The mechanics will tell you. And my advice: be good to your mechanic, because the times are all changed in the generations of motorcycles and motorcycle mechanics. You have
Right.
to get a good to your mechanic because the prices of bikes have gone up today. If you want them to be fair to you, you'll be fair to your mechanic. And I'm sure there's plenty of good repair shops out there that'll give you a fair price on the quality of the bike and the fair quality of repairs, ladies and gentlemen.
That's fantastic out there. So preventive maintenance. Now, getting a little sidetracked away from
Sure.
mechanical work and whatnot.
Yeah, I know. I'm just in awe, like sitting back here listening. But it is true. It is true. He is quite a mechanic. I had him look at one of my weed whackers one time. He got it working in a day.
Well, there you go. You should open up your own little fix-it shop there, Quince.
Well,
But getting away from the technical stuff down here, you are somewhat of a kind of a chef in a way. You like to come up with weird concoctions of different ingredients and whatnot. So why don't you tell everybody out there about where I only heard about this 20 minutes ago before we started to do this, was your Cheez-It and crouton mix. What is this all about?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a well-known fact. Every one of my good friends here at this radio station knows I love our Cheez-Its, and I offered some to all my good friends. So I suggested, well, what you want to also do is mix cheese and garlic croutons. Now, everyone loves croutons, so I suggested to all my viewers and listeners out there, mix them together. Just crush everything together. And it's a tasty, healthy snack.
So Cheez-Its and croutons are a healthy snack.
Well, especially they digest very lightly. The flavor of croutons. Now, my favorite kind of crouton is cheese and garlic.
Really?
And what I started doing.
Now, do you just eat croutons, or do you mix them in with a
Oh,
salad?
I mix them in. I just take up a chef's mallet and just gently mash them all together, and then mash the croutons.
But do you put it on a salad, or you just put them in a bowl and eat it?
Oh, I put it in the bowl and eat it. Sometimes I put it in the salads, but what I love doing, just crush them together. Just take a chef's mallet and crush the two together. Mix it in the bowl.
Well, I'm gonna ask
And
I'm
it's
gonna-
a tasty snack.
I'm going to ask Jeff about this. Now, Jeff, you probably make...
And a cold glass of milk, remind you.
Oh, there you go. Without question, Jeff, you probably make the best American chop suey I think I've ever had.
Well, right, yeah.
Now, what is your take on this crouton Cheez-It combo? Well, Cheez-Its, yeah.
Well, maybe I should try crushing up some croutons and Cheez-Its in my next batch of American chop suey. Hey, you can't knock it till you try it. But I
This-
have just like Reese's peanut butter cups with chocolate and peanut butter. It's probably the best combo ever. I'm gonna have to
This-
try it. Can't knock it until you try it.
Well, there's
I
plenty
guess.
of flavored croutons out there. My favorite flavor is cheese and garlic. Now, for those who love croutons, there's many different kinds, but I love the cheese and garlic. And then what you do, ladies and gentlemen, you just take a box of Cheez-Its and a box of a bag of croutons. Croutons come in bags and boxes, and you take a chef's mallet. And you, to make it easy on everyone, you put the croutons and cheeses in a plastic bag. And that way they don't fly all over the place. You don't make a mess. And you just gently tap on it. And it comes in small pieces. They're easier to chew. And you can feed them to your kids, feed them and as well as adults. And they're just a tasty, healthy snack.
Probably even feed them to the dog.
Well, try it, but if your
wouldn't.
dog's, but you have to be careful. That is why they make pet food. But if
Yeah, I guess you're right. You
but
can't spoil
if the
your pet.
owner of the pet authorizes, then give them a small dose, and if they go for it, but you have to be aware, like some of these croutons have spices, some of them has not spicy. Now, Cheez-Its, now, remind you, ladies and gentlemen, I like the original brand Cheez-Its and cheese and garlic. And yet, like I said, there's not spicy, and that's the exact combination I love.
So you're not a fan of the white cheddar Cheez-Its?
I tried them once, and I've always gone back to the original flavored
Now, which
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its you like? The regular size Cheez-Its or the big Cheez-Its?
Big Cheez-Its,
There you
ladies and
go.
gentlemen. Big Cheez-Its. Because they just have a thing for me. So I'll take big Cheez-Its, and I'll crush them up. And I'll take the small Cheez-Its if I have to, but they're fun.
So basically, we got the holiday seasons just around the corner down there. So you're thinking, for the people who have the big holiday parties, you're saying croutons and Cheez-Its would make a fantastic addition to your holiday party.
It will, ladies and gentlemen. It's easy to fix.
Wow.
You just take whatever flavor Cheez-Its or croutons and remind you, like a good host or host that will say, put a label, not spicy. And if you're serving spices to all the foods, a good individual will say spicy. And that way you get all, and they'll say, good thinking, because that way you say, oh, we like the way labeled spices, not spices, cheese and garlic crouton mixes. Because I got compliments from many of my viewers and good friends out there in the past, and they were always noticing,
Right.
You're buying.
Now, for those of you who don't know what you're talking about, your viewers and I, you are an entertainer.
That's right.
I mean, you are a professional karaoke singer,
I am.
And,
It's just clean cut fun.
and you like to host parties and whatnot, or
I do.
events and whatnot.
I host parties. I host whatever for charities. It's just clean cut fun. Again, you're helping the kids.
Right.
It's just a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Now, I haven't seen you since earlier this year when we made one of your childhood dreams come true when you actually got to meet your hero, the one and the only, Burt Reynolds.
That is so much fun. I've some good friends of mine. If I mention names, because that was so much fun, ladies and gentlemen. And what I did was I got to stand next to one of his cars. And there's two different movies, and I stood next to one of them, and I did some of his best clips from two of his movies.
Of course, the car you're referring to is none other than the Trans Am from Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, love Smokey and the Bandit and Hooper.
And Hooper.
Because those are my two best favorite Burt Reynolds movies, ladies and gentlemen. My salute to Burt Reynolds. And the thing, I got the reaction that everyone's looking at me saying, and I'm doing the best of the Burt Reynolds clips from Hooper and Smokey and the Bandit. And they're all looking at me, and the Bandit, it's like, this guy's good. It's like, well, I grew up with Burt Reynolds.
Now,
And
you kind of really didn't get that close to Burt Reynolds because he was at one of these fan conventions charging an ungodly amount of money for an autograph and a picture with him. But I would say you were a good 15 feet away from Burt Reynolds when he was doing a photo op with the Trans Am. And actually, if you can see on the screen right now, there's actually, if you're watching this on YouTube, not listening to it on our podcast channel, you can see the picture of Quincy there in the foreground. And in the background, that little head sitting there with the arrow pointed to it, that would be Burt Reynolds. Now, what you did was you wanted to get Burt Reynolds' attention. And Burt, God bless him, is now 80 years old.
God bless Burt.
And you started screaming lines from the movie Hooper. Now, what was the exact line you screamed that Burt Reynolds actually did stop and look at you and did acknowledge you? What line from Hooper did you say?
I'll have to say my very favorite, that's well-known, you said you could do it. I rewrote the script because you said you could do it. We arranged a shooting schedule. We spent a damn fortune preparing for that stunt because you said you could do it. I was wrong, Roger. I'm sorry. You were wrong. He was wrong, Max. He says he's sorry. Blows the whole goddamn movie and says, gee, I was wrong. Sorry. And the thing I loved about that movie, and everyone was looking at me, and Burt was looking at me, it's like, and everyone's like, this guy knows this movie word for word.
Right.
And everyone's reaction was, it's like, can he make noise? Why can't I make noise at the convention? It's a convention. And I'm a Burt Reynolds fan.
You were having fun.
And I was just having fun. And then the thing that it was like, and everyone's like, why can't he make noise? It's a convention. He paid his money. It's like,
Right. You went in.
and the thing was like, if I ever got, and the one time I get my own table to sign autographs, I would say, you can make all the noise you want, ladies and gentlemen.
Damn
and if someone
straight.
wants an autograph, you don't charge like a cent and a half, because the trouble with some of these celebrities, I won't mention names, it's for the kids, right? Isn't that what
It's all for the kids. It's all for the kids.
All for the kids. Of course, it's a small fee to pay for your food, drinks, whatever. But of course, you can have and then there's the thing I learned about conventions. It's a team effort. If you got to go somewhere to get your refreshments or whatever, have someone wait at the table, say, he'll be back in 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Come back, sign your autograph, answer some questions. Because I just heard a good friend of mine out there, say about 10 minutes ago, waiting in line.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
and they're right.
yeah, we were talking about when we met R2D2 at a convention.
Well,
The late R2D2.
the late, by the way, my condolences. And R2D in short terms. I'd like to bring out you don't make the fans wait in line for and then it's like
Because without the fans, you're not a celebrity.
that's right. Without the fans, you're not a celebrity. And if you don't treat the fans right, you will not be a celebrity for very long. And you got to remember, it's all for the kids. And I would like to, by the way, say hello to a good friend of mine out there, Al. And I'll tell you more about the things we'll be doing later on.
That's a different story for a different time.
Oh, yeah. But Al Snow, head. And I'll tell you more about that later on, what we're going to be doing later on.
All right, well, let's get back to the present right here. And you and Jeff have been talking about doing a show for a long period of time, whether it's going to be a television show or it's going to be a podcast and whatnot. Give us real quickly, because I know your limousine is waiting outside, and you have another appearance coming up, Quince.
Well, that's true, ladies and gentlemen.
Can
I don't want to just give it away, but Jeff and I have a surprise.
Well, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. You two want to do a cartoon talk show about
That's
old school cartoons, and you want to call the show. What is it called, Jeff?
Cartoon Titans.
Yeah, Toon Titans.
Toon Titans.
Two Titans. And what it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to recap some of the very best cartoons.
Real quick, what's your favorite old school cartoon?
Oh, Fred Flintstone. Yabba Dabba Doo. Who didn't love? And one more, Ranscabba! Now, I'm about the only one.
Well,
and
I know
my
what
good friend.
I know what you're talking about. Rumscapper over there. You're quoting lines from Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch.
Those are some of the best cartoons
Right.
that we're going to be recapping.
And that is
And
correct. It is going to be a cartoon variety hour, and I am a cartoon aficionado. And I, in my spare time, I go out and I find all these oldies but goodies. All these. And
What's your favorite cartoon, Jeff?
Okay, well, my favorite cartoon of all time happens to be the original Popeye, done by Max Fleischer, the black and white ones.
Well,
Like,
cartoons. Blows me down.
but I also like Max Fleischer also does Betty Boop, but I love the Mighty Heroes and.
Oh, gotta love the Mighty Heels. Well, cartoons, the old school, learning is fun. And the thing we're going to point about, ladies and gentlemen, learning was fun in these cartoons. That's
It
why
is,
we're going to
yes.
bring them back, to set the example for the new generation and these kids today. That's why we're going to recap some of the best cartoons and have fun with it. And it's just going to be a big fun thing as we put together the very best of the cartoons that we grew up with. And we're going to bring back the best memories and pass it on to the generation today because we care about our viewers. Like we said, without the viewers, so we care about what we select for shows, cartoons, and we're going to be just having a great time.
So fans out there who are listening to this podcast right now, hopefully soon we'll have a launch date for what's going to be called Toon Titans, starring Quincy Briscoe and, of course, South Boston Jeff. Jeff, any final thoughts about Toon Titans?
Well, it's just every weekend I try to I go and I find I have connections. I find the best cartoons possible. Yeah, it's going to be all the ones that we grew up with: Tom and Jerry, Mighty Mouse, Mighty Mouse, Casper the Friendly Ghost, all the
list
ones
goes
we
on and
grew-
on.
Yeah,
And we'll
Let's go.
compare them with
Goes
some of
on.
today's cartoons, and then
Sure.
then we'll welcome comments as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, as serious as a debate can get about the most useless cartoon knowledge there is.
Well, you two are
Well,
experts on there.
Again, we'll compare. Conclusion for the moment. We'll decide what's useless and what's fun, but that's the whole idea of Cartoon Titans.
Well, this show's not going to be useless. Cartoon Titan sounds like it's going to be a big hit. Now, I know, Quincy, you're getting ready. You have to run out to your limousine.
watch a cartoon right now.
Because you have to watch The Simpsons.
I want to don't.
So
I want to thank all of you for taking me on for the very first episode of what's the name of your show now?
well, the name of this show is the After Hours of T.C. Rustani podcast.
My salute to my good friend TC, which I know I'll be getting back to. It's been a long time, but we know we're busy, which we should be busy.
Right.
We want to be busy, but I'm doing a lot of goodies out there for the kids.
You are doing goodies for the kids.
And we're going to be talking a whole lot more about what we're going to be doing. So for the moment, Good night to all my friends, the viewers, the listeners. Get some food, TC, because you have a long drive back.
I do know. I do have a long drive
back
Right.
to where you live.
Right.
And that goes for you too, Jeff.
Oh yeah, like it's along the penthouse. It's this is the air conditioning is nice. I don't even think I want to leave. It's so hot out there.
To all my good fans and viewers, have a safe ride home. And by the way, get ready for school. To the young, brand new viewers, the new generation today.
I'd feel safest riding home with you, Quincy, on
Thank you.
your safe bike, because on your well-kept mechanical.
But he doesn't
bike.
have the bike tonight. He's got the limousine because he wants to watch
we'll
The
talk
Simpsons in the back
lots
seat.
more about safety. That goes for limousines. We're going to talk lots more about safety because that's what the show is about, safety. We got to set the example for the kids.
Okay, and on that note, I want to thank you for listening to the After Hours of T.C. Rustani podcast. I am T.C. Rustani, along with my good friend South Boston Jeff,
That's
and the
me.
always entertaining and unique
Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you.
Quincy Briscoe.